BBC One now has cricket with highlights of both of today's one-day semi-finals. The weather prospects now on BBC2 with John Ketley.
Good evening. I know that Manchester's had 35 consecutive days now with measurable rainfall, but that's nothing really compared with weather in other parts of the world. It's particularly severe around Korea and Japan just at the moment, and that's because of Typhoon Robin. You can see it up there in the top left-hand corner. And in its wake, we've got Typhoon Steve. That's developing. That'll be following the same sort of track. In fact, it's been giving 200 or 300 millimetres in the past 24 hours in parts of Korea and also in southern areas of Japan. The wet and windy weather gradually moving northwards with brighter skies following in behind. And that'll be a great relief. So you see, we're not really all that badly off at all. But it is disappointing for August. We've got this next system rolling in tonight. More wet and windy weather spreading across central and some southern parts of the country later on. Well, that's the weather map at the moment, with hardly any wind at all on the eastern side of the country, so it's turning out to be quite a cold night actually, 4 to 6 degrees over Scotland, but much wetter, much windier and much milder weather then feeding in from the southwest later on. And it's feeding in because of this system, which is going to move across into the North Sea later on tomorrow, but it will begin to grind to a halt as it moves north through Scotland. But some strong winds developing already out there over Ireland, and you can see the strong winds coming across southern parts of Britain. Never all that strong once you get to the far north of England, or indeed up into Scotland. The winds generally on Wednesday still fairly light. But tonight some rain to come in many parts of southern Britain, but Scotland by and large will stay dry. Tomorrow though, that rain beginning to push up into southern parts of Scotland. A pretty wet start to the day over North Wales and central parts of England. Not too much rain further south, and eventually it will begin to brighten up with a little bit of sunshine coming through, where you've got shelter from the higher ground from those stiff southwesterly winds. Eventually though, the rain moving further north over Scotland, probably getting to a line from Skye to Aberdeen by early evening time, leaving the rest of Scotland by and large with a fine day with some morning sunshine. Temperatures looking like this though, but rather cool up in the north. You can see here the temperature's not too bad, but quite strong winds, so not necessarily feeling all that warm, particularly around the southwestern coast. But you could well reach 21 degrees inland where the sun breaks through, but much cooler further north. And of course Wednesday should be a good day for noticing the meteor showers, weather permitting, and I'm afraid it isn't going to be very good. In many parts of the country tomorrow night it could well be a bit on the cloudy side with further rain to come, because that area of low pressure really isn't going to get away too quickly. It does mean to say it's going to stay unsettled right through the rest of the week. A band of rain moving southeastwards during Thursday, brighter weather for a time on Friday, and then more rain coming in from the northwest at the end of the week. And that's it from me tonight.
Now, for the Open University course on the Jewish Enigma, we take a look at the Promised Land.